Okay, so this is a example for how you use Microsoft Project, all right, as one of these scheduling software, and this is roughly equivalent to some of these other projects. I believe on the LACES website there are videos using some of these other software items, so you could download those videos and some of that instruction. But I'll go over the Microsoft Project example at this point. So once you start project, you'll get a blank screen like this, which has area to the right-hand side with a calendar on top. That's sort of where your project schedule will end up looking. And then on the left side, you've got some blank lines like a table. That's where you put your tasks and a few things like that. And then obviously on the top, you've got a bunch of tools and characteristics. So that's what a new project screen would look like. One of the first things that you want to do is underneath the project menu. You'd click on the project menu and you'd pull down you do the pop-up project information, and on project information tab, you would enter in your start date of your project. So for example, right now we would be Tuesday 2/1/22. You'd pick today as your project start, say, right? And so that sets your time, your initial time that you work with this thing. Then what you do is that you take your WBS. Did I mention previously that a WBS is an important thing to do first? Okay. Maybe. And so you take the WBS and you enter in all your major tasks in here as your first level. So you see me entering this power system, flight control unit, data archive unit, etc. Don't worry about this stuff, the duration, the start, and the finish time yet. Right? Put in all those major pieces first. Then once you do that, you can insert new tasks. So you can select new task and insert menu, and create some more lines underneath one of these major tasks. If you get too many, you can select that line and press the delete key, and that row will go away. Now on those sublines, put in your subtasks, and you want to indent those. Okay, so there's an indent key in here. So yeah, there it is over on the left hand side, near the edge. You can see the indent one way or the other, but you indent them to on the power source, the FCU supply, the DAU HD supply, etc. You indent them to the right to indicate that these are subtasks underneath the power system. And you'll see what happens is that now that that major task, it goes boldface. All right. The Gantt chart symbol goes from a blue block to a black bar with two arrows. And there is a plus sign. And well, actually in this case, a negative sign there. And so if you were to click in that, you would hide those subtasks. So that's what happens when you put it. So now you put in all of your subtasks underneath each one of your major categories here. Right? And you keep on working down till you get to your lowest level of this. Once again, you're not worrying about the duration, start, or finish. All you're doing is putting in your major tasks, your subtasks, your sub-subtasks, and your bottom level work packages, if you will, from your WBS. Okay. The next thing you want to do is that you want to indicate in your project your WBS hierarchical name. And so you go to the information column right up here where it says information, and you right click on that, and you can add in the the task name column. So column definition, and you can, there's a pop-up that comes down, and you go and scroll until you get to WBS, and you do an insert, right? And so you can insert that as a field name, click OK on this thing. And so now you'll have the WBS number up here. So you get all your major ones will be numbered with the prime numbers. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. And then you get the hierarchical WBS numbering as you go down, okay? Your taskbars. So as you enter these things, your taskbars of your higher level will be these black with these things. Well, you can change that color if you want. You just right click on that taskbar. You can change the color. You can change some of the configurations on these. There's a little pop-up that you can do. Make certain that when you do this, that you do, if you want to change the color, then you do it on the start, the middle, and the end for these kinds of things. So here is a example. So what I've done is that I've left all the major tasks to be that dark black, and then I did different shades of gray as I go down into the subtask. So that's one way to indicate. You can probably do different things as you see fit. And then the work packages are still this sort of blue block, if you will. All right. After you get that done, now you put in your durations, right? Don't worry about start and end yet. So your durations go in, you add all your durations, and now you see that the length of these blocks change. Now, the durations that you're putting in is going to be on your lowest level, your work packages down here. And then those will get automatically rolled up to the next higher level in here, right? But look at this one. So we put in all these times like we did before, and that adds up to I think 10 days or 14 days or something like that. But here it says 4 days. Well, that's because right now we haven't set any precedent, right? And so all these tasks are happening in parallel. So it will just capture the length of the longest task in it. So obviously, one of the next things we want to do is put in the precedence, right? So that's done in this column, precedence here. So here's where we say, so this task it needs to happen after that previous one. That one has to happen after that, et cetera, et cetera. Look what happens to the blocks. So there's a little arrow that goes, it points to where that precedent is going. And now everything is spread out. And now all that time is added up, and we end up with the total amount of time, the correct time in that higher level. That FCU control interface now has a time of, I can't read it from where I'm sitting, 10 days looks like, right? Right. So you then enter all the precedents for all of the subtasks, and you'll see that your blocks are scattered out across time as you go through the project. But you don't see the full Gantt chart in here yet. So the next thing to do is to set your time scale. So you can go into the format menu, select time scale, and then in project, you could set the major time scale and the minor time scale. So major time scale to months, minor time scale to week. And then what happens is that you'll have something like this. So you can see the full chart on a single page. Okay. And again, I would suggest that each step along here, you save it and copy the file and make a new file for these things, right? The other thing, so this is all great and cool and that sort of thing, but it's not really, it can be partially useful, and it is useful just as a standalone, but it's even more useful if you can get an image of it into your documents, which is one of the things that will be required. And so here in project, you can make a GIF image of it. You go to the edit menu, do a copy picture, you select to a GIF image, give the file name, you select what you want to copy, how you do it, and press OK, and you'll get a GIF image of this thing, and you can convert that GIF image to a JPEG or whatever you want. So here's like your full schedule as ready to be copied into a document. Okay. All right. Well, that's all that I have for tonight. Are there any questions? Neither on this stuff from tonight or anything from previously. So I presume that you are all working very hard and diligently on your requirements and your scheduling and getting your pre-PDR document written up. And I'm presuming, so 11 days, 10 days from now is when your PDR document is due at your institution. And then we expect to see the full PDR here at LSU, License Management. I think it's on the 14th, if I remember right. So roughly 2 weeks you got. So let me ask again, are there any questions?